If you love the sounds and excitement of motorsports, there's really only one place to turn: Diamond P Video. Our trackside cameras capture racing's most explosive moments and bring them straight to you in an ever-growing collection of award-winning home videos. From funny cars and jet cars to pro stocks and monster trucks, Diamond P Video is your front row seat for the wildest racing ever recorded. Hang on and step up to the great racing action that's awaiting you at Diamond P Video. From the Winter Nationals through the Winston Finals, you'll see unsurpassed coverage of National Hot Rod Association Championship drag racing. It's the edge-of-your-seat excitement that makes each NHRA season more memorable than the last. Watch as the kings of the sport hurtle down the track, wheel to wheel at 280 miles per hour. Feel the earth shake in fierce duels between the awesome, fabulous floppers, and hear the engines throb in gear-banging excitement that only Hot Rods from Detroit can bring. Diamond P Video lets you gaze at the stars of tomorrow. Then it's into the pits to meet great racing legends like Big Daddy Don Garlitz, Don the Snake Prudhomme, and Shirley Muldowney. Share their incredible stories of victory and defeat, and discover firsthand the strength and faith needed to succeed as a professional racer. Then jump into the seat for non-stop dirt racing. Join the largest group of outlaw cars and drivers in a fight for a piece of the biggest prize on the championship tour, the Knoxville Nationals. Next, it's on with the show as we go to exhibition racing. Indulge in a bit of culture at the Wheelstander Ballet. Pay tribute to America with the Jet Car 4th of July. And stomp out the beat of the monster truck rap. Then give in to a bit of motor mania with a lighthearted look at tractor pulling, snowmobiles, and even Model Ts. With pigs? Diamond P Video. At times, the scene is frightening. Professional racing at its extreme. Sometimes it's emotional, a moment of personal pain or triumph. But always, it's exciting and a tribute to the power, the glory, and the people of professional racing. Diamond P Video, the best seat in the house for motorsports. For information on the complete Diamond P Video collection, call 1-800-421-0725. In California, call 818-702-9723.
One reason for the growing popularity of motorsports is that, like one of those fancy ice cream stores, there's a flavor for every taste. But no matter the variety, when we see images of motorsports, we all think of intense, serious people, driven to compete, dedicated to victory. There is, however, a lighter side to racing. Some just want to have fun. Oh, some just want to have fun.
An amazing stunt by Brian Gustin. He is okay. At least he's walking away from that wreckage.
It's called exhibition racing, the showman side of motorsports. In this world populated by wheelstanders, jet cars, and monster trucks, the only limits are imagination. And while these drivers are as competitive as any in racing, for them, the emphasis is on entertainment, which is why we like to say they sure do show and go. When it comes to show and go, there's nothing that compares to the thunder and lightning of jet cars in action. Jet cars come in three basic shapes: dragsters, funny cars, and specialty vehicles. Whether it's a supersonic semi or an F-14 in funny car clothes, beneath the skin, all jet cars have basically the same elements, starting with the most obvious, the engine. They come from a variety of sources. Some are Air Force surplus. Some come right out of a Lear jet. All are modified for racing and the smoke and light shows that are jet car trademarks. Unlike a conventional car, the engines in jet racers do not directly drive the wheels. When it comes to motivating, it is the thrust from the engines that move these cars. All jet cars have braking systems, but they are not for stopping. The brakes are used mostly on the starting line to hold the cars in place during the fire show. To the drivers, the most important piece of equipment on a jet car is at the rear. Parachutes are the only way to stop these cars after a 260-mile-an-hour run. But jet cars aren't the only show and goers who catch fans' eyes. In drag racing, one of the most visually exciting but potentially dangerous things that can happen to a driver is a wheel stand. A wheel stand, or wheelie, is when the front wheels leave the ground and head skyward. For the driver, it is a moment of complete helplessness. And as the saying goes, if there's a risk of something going wrong, it will. Given the danger, it's hard to imagine why people would intentionally try to wheel stand. Until you see them in action. It's easy to understand the attraction of wheelstanders once you've seen them at work. On the other hand, even standing still, monster trucks are awesome machines. All totaled, there are some 2,001 reasons why monster trucks have become everyone's favorite way to dispose of old cars. But monster trucks do more than just show. They also love to go, go, go. To some, monster trucks are motorsports' answer to lumbering elephants. But give them a chance, and they'll make even Dumbo envious. Whether it is monster trucks or jet cars, driving is a skill that must be learned, a subtle art that must be mastered. The cockpit of a jet car is not as complex as that of a normal jet airplane, but there is still a lot a driver does during a typical run. Just as no two jet cars are quite alike, so too the drivers. They are a distinct group. One of the most respected is longtime racer Doug Rose.
I've been doing this now for 25 years. My car reminds me every now and then that I'm not the boss. You know, it gives me a little thrill. But that's part of the sport. You have to take these things as they come.
When it comes to flash, very few teams can compete with Jet Set Racing's two-car team. Owned by Diamond Lynn Redeman, the team is among the most colorful in the sport.
Jet car racing is an exhibition show team. We're not out there, as I said, as competition racing. We're there to put a show on for the audience. So, as you can see by my operation, we're very flashy. One of my slogans is that we're not the fastest, but we're the flashiest.
The award for most unusual career prior to driving jets goes to Aggie Hendricks, one of the few women licensed to drive these cars.
I was self-employed. I had a tropical plant store. I discovered that it was not the most lucrative business in the world at the time, so I gave it up, and I happened across some people that were already involved in jet racing. And over a period of time, they allowed me the opportunity to become involved in it and eventually drive this particular car.
As touring professionals, these drivers can spend up to 40 weeks a year traveling the country, competing at different tracks. Once a year, 14 or so of the best gather at Great Lakes Dragaway in Union Grove, Wisconsin for a spectacular weekend of competition. In addition to the jets, Great Lakes offers a little of everything, including a stunt show. In the pit area of Great Lakes Dragaway, the jets are always the center of attention. From watching them test their engines to just checking them out, fans young and old are fascinated by these unique machines. But it's when the jets pull to the starting line that the excitement really builds.
Okay, here we go. Here comes the Rose, a Green Mama jet car. Yeah.
Wheelstander drivers are every bit as unique a group as their jet car counterparts. And as you'd guess, their machines reflect this. From pickup trucks to street machines to things more exotic, no two are quite alike. There are some similarities. For instance, the engine is always in the back. They all have wheelie bars to keep from falling over backwards. And they are a marvel to watch. Wheelstanding is not something a person can just go out and do. It takes lots of practice and perseverance. And even if the crowd gets impatient, you just have to keep plugging away. And before you know it, you're wheel standing. Unlike jet car and wheelstander drivers, monster truck pilots do not need a special license to compete. About all they do need is a monster truck and some mechanical aptitude. After all, these are sophisticated machines with advanced chassis and suspensions, four-wheel drive, and the newest rage, four-wheel steering. And of course, all this high-tech hardware comes in handy when the way home is paved with junk cars. Where once monster trucks were exclusively built from pickup trucks, today there are monster blazers and panel trucks and semis, making for some truly monstrous-looking machines. There's an old joke that goes, where does a 6-ton monster truck run? Well, almost anywhere it wants to. These days, that means from car dealerships to the Los Angeles Coliseum. Annually, famed racer Mickey Thompson converts the Coliseum into a multi-purpose race facility for his off-road stadium Grand Prix. And along the way, the monster trucks show up to strut their stuff. Sure, seeing monster trucks compete in the home of the '84 Olympics is neat. But for a symphony of sight and sound unequaled, there is nothing that compares to jet cars at night. While nothing tops the sensual impact of jet car racing, in the world of show and go, no machine will equal the fame of the Little Red Wagon, the first and best known of all Wheelstanders. The Little Red Wagon began life as a promotional vehicle for Dodge, but when teamed with Bill Maverick Golden, it became the first wheelie machine. It was Bill who first coined the phrase wheelie, who began the Wheelstander craze when he started touring with the Red Wagon, and who's been responsible for many of the sport's major safety innovations. After over 20 years together, the Little Red Wagon has become more than just a race car to Bill Golden.
I view the Little Red Wagon as an individual. Yes, I do. It's a male person, and it likes girls, naturally, because it's unmarried.
Partly because he was the first, partly because of his nature, Bill found himself a major pioneer in the sport.
When we first started doing wheelies, we had no way of guiding the truck or controlling what the truck done after we pulled the wheel stand and was heading down the track. So I got the idea in the latter part of 1965, especially when there was quite a few wheelstanders that were starting to follow my act, my drag racing act, that I'd better start doing something to make them safer. So by the end of 1966, I was well into working on to a guiding system.
Bill's guidance system used special brakes on the rear wheels to steer when the front wheels were dancing off the track. The new system had an instant impact on the sport.
What do I like about it the most? I feel the fans. Money's great. I like it. You need it. The kids want to go to school every chance they get, you know, and eat out once in a while and have their bikes. That's important. But the main thing is, if the people or the fans turned against me, I think I'd quit immediately. Now, I retired in 1982, and we had so many letters and kids writing to me, and so we decided by 1987, with all the calls and everything, to bring it back, and that was the fans that brought me back.
With Bill behind the wheel, the Little Red Wagon will probably dance down drag strips for another 20 years. In contrast to wheelstanders like the Little Red Wagon, monster trucks do not need a quarter-mile racetrack to run on. Places like the Houston Astrodome are routinely converted into rumpus rooms for monster trucks. During the TNT Supernationals, the Astrodome becomes a three-ring racetrack with the center attraction, the Dancing Bears of Racing. The TNT Supernationals present monster trucks in a unique setting, competing two at a time. For variety, sometimes the trucks crush cars first and then jump hills. And other times, they jump hills first and then crush cars. Whichever way they go, it's a radical show. Whether it's monster trucks or jet cars, it's the vehicle name fans usually remember. One notable exception is Roger Gustin, owner-driver of the Lava Machine Funny Cars. Roger's not only a top showman, but an intense competitor as well.
You know, I've been driving race cars for 27 years, and every one I've ever drove has been exciting. But to drive a jet with the thrust power, it doesn't drive the rear wheels, is just unbelievable. The sensation is fantastic.
Part of Roger's immense popularity lies in the fact that he so obviously enjoys what he does for a living.
I've been doing this a long time, and you really enjoy spending time with your friends at the races and all, but the real bottom line of coming to the races is the time you get strapped in there and you give the starter the signal to go and you light the afterburner. That's got to be the most exciting thing in drag racing, is when you really drive the car.
The second driver on Roger's Lava team is longtime jetster Mike Evigins. A jet driver since the early 70s, Mike is one of the sport's top competitors.
When I pull up on the starting line and I'm in the stage beams, all I want to do is drill the guy next to me. And I'm sure that's just the way he feels too. And when you can go across that finish line at 260 miles an hour, and you are ahead of that fellow beside you, that's the feeling of the excitement.
For the fans, their excitement comes when the two lava machines pull up to the starting line together. There's no one reason jet cars in general and the lava machines in particular are so popular, but certainly part of the reason lies in the passion of drivers like Roger Gustin.
I'm 46 years old, and I love it more now than I did when I was 18, so I'll probably be doing it quite a while.
Another show-and-go driver who's as well-known as his vehicle is Ed, the Outlaw Jones, pilot of the Jolly Rancher Candyland Express. The Jolly Rancher Wheelstander, a replica of a 1930s fire truck, is a favorite with young and old fans wherever it goes. A longtime drag racer, Jones for many years drove one of the most outrageous-looking wheelstanders in the country, a converted stagecoach.
I started racing back in '67. I started out with a super stock car, and we had a lot of fun with that, and I wanted to kind of move up a little bit, so we ended up getting this car 11 years ago when my son was 30 days old, as a matter of fact, and we've been campaigning it since then.
When Jones retired the stagecoach recently, he brought out his new wheelstander, the fire truck. He tours with the new truck most of the year.
Last year we ran like 39 dates, and we did a lot of displays, parades, and car shows and etc. We keep very, very busy throughout the year.
The grace and skill with which drivers handle their wheelie machines is reminiscent of watching a prima ballerina at work. Leaping and bounding over junked cars, it is doubtful anyone would mistake a monster truck for a ballerina. And as tough as monster trucks are, the cars they are crushing sometimes prove to be a little tougher, giving as good as they get. The way these behemoth machines scamper pell-mell over any obstacles in their paths, it is not surprising they sometimes suffer minor damage. Of course, sometimes the damage can be a bit more than minor. For all their bravado, monster trucks are still delicate, hand-built machines, with the punishment they take bouncing almost out of control over cars and hills. Sometimes they end up looking worse than the cars they were crushing. The axles are not the only parts on a monster truck that can break. It is not surprising to see trucks lose their steering or to have it freak out. Then about the only way to describe what happens is the Keystone Cops go racing. In the world of monster trucks, the buzzword is originality. They may all have the same high-tech hardware, but no two trucks are quite alike, from engine choice to body style. One thing all monster truck drivers share is an enthusiasm for what they do. And no monster truck driver worth his salt will let a pile of crushed cars beat him. Everyone has heard the saying, if you fall off a horse, you have to get right back on. For monster truckers, that translates to, if the cars have got the best of you, go out there and take another crack at them. The cheers of the crowd are a driver's reward for a car well crushed. In the 20-plus years Doug Rose has been driving jet cars, he's had plenty of opportunities to win the admiration of fans. One reason is that he has learned to tailor his show to accommodate different tracks.
A lot of places where I go, they're oval tracks, they're small facilities where you can't let the car out and do what it has to do.
Ever resourceful, he's found other ways to show off his jet car.
Well, we have an act that we call car burning or meltdown, something like that. It's where we take an old junk car, like this weekend we took buses and combines, of all things.
There are plenty of reasons why veteran drivers like Airplane Freddie Sibley and Doug Rose burn buses and combines. Well, there's the educational rewards. Yeah, that's it, the educational rewards.
A lot of people don't understand what a jet engine is or what it does, what it's capable of, or how dangerous it is. So when you tell them, well, there's 3,000 degrees and 6,000 pounds of thrust coming out the back, it's hard to relate. If you tell them it's like a giant cutting torch, they can only imagine some guy holding a big cutting torch cutting a car in half. And it's sort of like a 1 minute 4th of July. Anyway, if you got a neighbor you don't like, let me know. If he parks in your parking spot at work. Buses and combines. You like that, huh?
According to purists, every monster truck must have a cute nickname and oversized tires. Naturally, there are some who disagree.
I mean, and the people out there, just like monster trucks, they're neat. I always thought they were the neatest thing since I was a little kid. And, but they've been around for a long time. You know, and the public, they're just striving for something new. You know, they want something new and that can get wilder and crazier.
William Towns admits his inspiration for a wild new truck came from an off-road magazine cartoon.
They had a little truck sit on top of a tank. But the tank, it still had the gun and everything on it. But I just saw the idea putting a body, you know, on the tank bottom. The bottom half of the M4 tank retrievers is what the bottom half is. They were made back in about 1942. They used them in World War II. I guess when they designed the tanks, you know, they designed them to save people's lives while they were going out through enemy territory, so, and running over landmines and stuff, so they've been doing good on cars. It ain't that top heavy. It has no weight up top. So you can get pretty squirrely with it and feel relaxed the whole time you're looking dangerous. It ain't really dangerous. We do as much excitement as we can, you know, crushing and mutilating. Anything that looks exciting and dangerous. Start wailing, whacking away. Let it rip, let it rip, let it rip. Crushing, mutilating, mutilating. Crushing, but your heart does flutter. Getting down, getting down, getting down. But your heart does flutter. Crushing. Start wailing, mutilating. But your heart does flutter. Crushing, crushing, crushing. Whacking away. Getting down, mutilating, crushing. But your heart does flutter. Getting down, let it rip. This is like living a dream. I mean, they're paying me to come play. You know, we're going there and putting on a show, making all these kids happy, and it's fun. I mean, you can't beat it.